Panama, a small country in Central America of just 3 million inhabitants, has the largest shipping fleet in the world, greater than those of the US and China together. It is bordered by Colombia on the east and by Costa Rica on the west. Furthermore, Panama enjoys a position as the guardian of one of the world's most important marine trade routes, the Panama Canal, which connects the Pacific and Atlantic Oceans. One of the main raising questions is, why do many ships fly the Panamanian flag if the country itself has a limited history of trade and a small shipping line? What is the hidden trick behind this practice? This reality happens because of the flags of convenience notion. A flag of convenience ship is obviously a ship, where the nationality of the owner is different from the country in which the ship is registered. Ships are registered under flags of convenience in order to reduce operating costs or avoid the regulations of the owner's country. Panama operates as what is known as an open registry, which means that its flag offers the advantages of easier registration, often online, and the ability to employ cheaper foreign labor. Besides, the foreign owners pay no income taxes. Sounds good, right? But where does this idea of flags of convenience come from? Let's start out with a little bit of history. The first transfer of ships to Panama's register is found back in the 1920s when the United Fruit Company created the Honduran Open Registry to ensure the cheap and reliable transport of its bananas. Yes, bananas. The Panamanian Open Registry came about soon after, in 1922, when 2 U.S. passenger ships aimed to serve alcohol to travelers during Prohibition. After World War II, Panama's register grew more rapidly as U.S. ship owners wanted to avoid higher wages and lower costs of transportation even more. As a result, other countries did the same as Panama and started to register several foreign-owned ships. Nowadays, Panama has the largest registry of ships with its flag in the world, followed by Liberia, the Marshall Islands, Hong Kong, and Singapore. It counts on more than 3,000 registered ships, being an 80% of the total foreign-owned ships. Even though the registry is profitable for Panama, bringing in $500 million for the country's economy in fees, services, and taxes, it is important to note that this profit hides a dark side. The benefits from flying the Panamanian flag as a flag of convenience entails a heavy risk for the workers in these ships. Indeed, accidents involving Panamanian registered ships are very high. Besides, the practices of flags of convenience states aggravate problems in terms of environmental issues, immigrant/refugee movements, and other issues in the global scope. Thanks to its advantageous geographic position, the economy of Panama is one of the richest in Central America. The economy of Panama is based on services, mainly which make up for 78% of the GDP. In 2006, the GDP of Panama increased by 8.1%. However, even though this is the highest in Central America, about 19% of the population still lives in poverty. In the present day, the problems created by the flag of convenience system, combined by state and non-state actors alike, pose great dangers that affect the international community and particularly Panama. The most prevalent externality is labor exploitation, which is reflected in the horrible conditions of workers, the low salaries, the insecurity in the high seas, and in many cases, death rates. These consequences highlight the inequalities among the Panamanian population. Again, 19% of Panama's population lives in poverty. A clear example of this can be seen in contrast of the city areas. Nowadays, in a global scope, the Panama Canal plays unquestionably a very important role in worldwide maritime transportation. From 2002 to 2006, global trade increased by 23%, which is the greatest 5-year growth rate of the last 20 years. The new Panama Canal, due to its expansion, can now take ships loaded with up to 14,000 containers compared to about 5,000 per ship in the old canal. In terms of cost structure, the expansion of the Panama Canal enables maritime shippers to reduce all water costs by approximately 37%. The Panama Canal Authority can be divided into 8 segments, such as container ships, dry bulk vessels, vehicle carriers, liquid bulk vessels, refrigerated transports, cruise ships, general cargo vessels, and other miscellaneous vessels such as fishing boats, navy, and research vessels. Container ships are the canal's main source of income, followed by the dry bulk, vehicle, and liquid bulk. Competitive transportation systems are critical for economic growth. Most U.S. trade moves through the Panama Canal, as well as the Suez Canal, the Cape of Good Hope, and the U.S. intermodal system. The Panama Canal expansion increased efficiency to the U.S. intermodal system by decongesting the West Coast main ports of Los Angeles and Long Beach. Faster delivery comes with the expansion as well as the decline of transportation costs. In summary, taking into account the cost structure, transit time, and the Panama Canal tolls, when compared to the intermodal option, the expansion reduced maritime costs for shipments from the East Coast ports, such as the Savannah port, to East Asia, like China, by about a 28% reduction. The Panama Canal expansion benefits industries such as the U.S. cotton industry, since it's highly dependent on foreign markets. It is important for the U.S. industry to remain competitive with other foreign suppliers such as Brazil, India, and Uzbekistan. U.S. cotton producers benefit economically from the expansion since there has been a 10% reduction in ocean freight rates from shipments originated in the U.S. Gulf and Atlantic ports, with final destination to Asian and Pacific importing countries. In conclusion, Panama plays an important role in the shipping industry used for trading purposes due to its privileged location as well as one of the world's most important marine trade routes, the Panama Canal, which connects the Pacific and Atlantic Oceans. Since its expansion, this route became even more efficient. Furthermore, its power position in the flag of convenience system motivates the increasing number of countries that decide to register their ships with the Panamanian flag in order to avoid expensive taxes and environmental and labor regulations. However, states with closed registries perceive flags of convenience as unethical legal fictions designed to escape the safety controls, social legislation, taxation, and maritime policies required by other nations.